All right, we're recording.
What else
All
do we
right.
do?
Let's do it. Let's go check out the ghost house.
Well, right now you're going to the Boston Globe. Um, so you guys pull up to the Boston Globe. When you get to the Boston Globe, it's busy. I mean, people are just running back and forth. You already had today's paper. And you guys are looking for some old papers and some old information. There's a
But it
secretary
could.
right here.
Forgot what it's from.
Where? Ah,
Hello. She's very gregarious. She would totally go say hi.
yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh, hi, miss. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm just excellent. I'm glad to see you.
Well, so,
Oh, wait. You're Mrs. McKee.
yes, I own that small library down by the university.
Oh, my gosh. My name's Margaret. You taught me how to read and everything, and now I'm sitting here working at the big paper.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that we took the time to teach other ladies how to be strong, independent readers.
Yeah, some of the fellas still ask me to go and get them coffee and stuff, but I'm going to go and be a big-time reporter real soon.
I know you can do it.
So, how can I help you guys?
Well, I had this record in my library, and unfortunately, it just didn't stand the test of time, and I was hoping that I could replace...
Oh, yeah, you probably got a scratch on your record. You got to be careful with them new things. They sound great, but if you get a scratch on them, all of a sudden everything just...
No, I mean, an old newspaper that we had on file in the library was
on a
damaged.
newspaper.
yes, this is a Boston Globe, isn't it?
That's what it says on the front door, mister.
I was wondering, does the Boston Globe
Wait a
hold
minute.
archives of...
You ask her about the archives, but she turns around and she looks at Jonathan and she looks at O'Doyle, and all of a sudden she turns around quickly, busts out her hand mirror, fixes her hair a little bit. You can swear she does a quick spritz of perfume, and she turns back around to look at the two young gentlemen.
Oh, hello, sis. Miss, you said what? I'm sorry, what was that again, ma'am?
archives? I was hoping there were some archives so I could replace some lost records that we had in the library.
Oh, yeah, there's some odd guys, but you're gonna have to talk to Alvin. And he is a bit of a heel.
Well, could you show us the direction, please, miss?
Sure. All you guys got to do is just, you're gonna go head north, then you're gonna go turn right into sports section, and then walk right past the editorial room. But make sure you're not too loud over there at the editorial room because the he doesn't like it when you guys get too noisy.
Of course.
And then you'll go and find Alvin outside of there. But when you find Alvin, just he's a bit of an asshole. Just make sure you talk to him, and you just be real stern with the guy, and eventually he'll come around.
Oh, don't worry. I raised
You know
10
what?
children. I can handle it.
And those are my specialty. I got this.
Oh, I bet you do, mister. Look at the muscles on you.
Isn't he dashing?
He certainly is. Him and his friend over here, are these both your boys?
Oh, I could be so lucky.
I mean, you got handsome, you got strong, good stock.
You boys are quite a catch. You know, my daughter, Julia, she's been single, and I just think you would be an excellent choice.
I'm single.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, maybe we should proceed with our business here.
Right, of course. I'm so sorry.
All right, so you walk past. She looks like she sticks her lip out a little bit. She's kind of frowning.
Do come by the library later, dearie. I would love to help you find some interesting books.
Yeah, that sounds real great, Mrs. McGee. Glad to see you.
A pleasure, dearie.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, and thanks to you for walking right into my life.
All right, so you guys walk forward. Miss McGee,
Yes.
while you're looking, shoot. A distinguished older gentleman comes out, and it is, in fact, the publisher of the paper, the Boston Globe, and his name, Henry.
Henry.
This is the problem with using real people. Is normally I would just go and make up a name, but
His name is Henry
I
Globe.
won't. Yeah, Henry Globe.
God damn it.
Oh my god, I have to call him that now. Regardless of what his name actually is, she'd be like, oh, he's the Boston Globe guy. It's Mr. Globe, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My dumb butt didn't actually save his picture for some inane reason. All right, so regardless, we'll deal with him later. He's going to be dead in a
Try
year,
this one?
so it doesn't even really
You want to
matter.
smell this one?
Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's sad.
It's
Yes,
more dry than the other
person
one.
who you would have met right now would have died in 1921. So
Well, it's 1920, isn't it?
that's yep.
Is there a
So
doorbell?
he has a year left, so there's no point in getting attached to him because you know.
Well, who knows if we are still alive at that point.
I mean, we don't know that.
No. But yeah.
I mean, plus Dorothy. I mean, she's 76. She could have a week. I mean,
Does he
Exactly.
die in a car accident? That's my question.
No. He just dies of like old age or whatever.
oh, so
It's
he's a
okay, so
distinguished
it's not my
older
fault.
gentleman. All right.
This should not be your fault. As far as you know, this isn't your fault.
Look, I'm just saying, is there someone for me to say hello to? Because I will totally do that.
Oh yeah. There's someone for you to say hello to. He walks past. He just gives you a little bit of a nod. You see a not younger, but younger than him version walking past. Both of these guys are the editors. He coughs a little bit, and when he coughs, 3 sprinkles of blood land in his.
Oh my goodness, dearie. Have you seen our... I'm sorry. My name is Dorothy McGee. I own the McGee Library downtown, and I have just been such a fan of this newspaper. Really, it makes me feel so connected to this town. Are you okay?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm quite busy. You said you wanted to speak to Arthur. Was it in record?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Go 2 doors down and you'll find him.
Oh, do you mind humoring me? I get so turned about in buildings like this.
Yes, I'll have my son take you. And he has his son take you. His son's about 45.
You know, you are my daughter's age.
Oh? Okay.
Are you married?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Oh, well, that's so, of course. How could you not be a handsome man like you?
Yeah. Anyway, pleasure meeting you. You'll find Arthur right back there. He'll try to be grouchy to you. Just tell him to show you what you need.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your help.
All right, so you guys walk back. You meet Arthur, who looks. Actually, nah, you don't even know Arthur for 5 minutes. He doesn't get a picture. I'm not wasting one on him. All right, so Arthur's kind of a scraggly, greasy haired guy, overweight, shirt doesn't quite fit. And he's just sitting there chomping away on a cigar, pushing some records and some old newspapers back when you guys walk in and talk to him.
Good morning.
Hello.
What's so good about it?
Oh, what's so bad about it?
Yeah, I'm here again, right?
Gainfully employed.
Gamefully, she says. What do you all want?
Well, we were wondering if you could help us out. We were looking for a specific newspaper article from 1835.
Oh, yeah, sure, guys. Let me just go ahead and check my, my 1835 section. It's right over here.
I will remind you to mind your manners, sir.
All right, Toots, calm it down.
Excuse me, Toots! Toots! Well,
Anyway, I was telling you, your British friend over here that he can find the 1835 section right between the index and the ring section.
Well, just show us the way. And,
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, in case you didn't understand what he meant between the index and the ring section, he's giving you the finger.
Oh.
well.
I actually didn't get that.
I feel like she would pop him on the head. Like she would take a fan out of her purse and pop him on the head.
Yeah, roll brawling for me.
Oh my god. This is gonna be bad.
So it's not an abject failure, but you do miss the guy when you bop him. But he kind of gets a picture. And he breathes for a little bit and says, listen to lady.
She totally gives him her mom
busy.
glare.
Well, you're not too busy, I suppose, because your boss just sent us here to for you to help us out. So that's exactly your job.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, buddy, this is America. And we kicked you guys off of our land.
I will have you know, this man is my friend and he is a patriot, sir.
Oh, yeah? What? You fighting a great war or something?
Yes, actually I did.
Oh, really? That's fascinating.
And you, Sasquatch, what do you bring to the table?
Oh, I'm just watching. Don't you worry about me.
Yeah, I think I can't. No need to worry about you. Probably find you in a crime section, huh? What? No smile? Nothing? Yeesh. Big stone this guy is over here. All right. What do you say? 1835? Look, that's going to take me a little while.
Well, we don't want to bother you too much. If you want to just show us a section where we can look for it, then we can just do that on our own. And I promise we won't make any mess.
Oh, you promise, huh?
That is, if you can trust a patriot and a veteran.
So I will let the three of you, each in your own way, roll the way you would convince somebody to do something for you. So Wes, whatever your strongest skill is, be it charm, deception,
Oh, come
persuasion,
on.
intimidation. Wes,
Oh, your rolls are off the charts.
They're so bad, right?
Yes. Well, let's see how I do. I'm really bad at that. Yeah.
She's all disgruntled. She's having a
Alright.
hard time being
So both of you
persuasive.
guys- So both of you guys are using your big fancy words and all this big muckety mook talk, and he's just completely ignoring you. Mr. O'Doyle, what do you say to
Intimidate.
Oh, I don't know. You know what, Fattass? It looks like you could use a little bit more exercise. So how about this? You give us a hand or I complain to your boss and have your job. How's that?
Yeah, well, I should say you can have it, but yeah, fuck, I got bills to pay. All right, look, why don't you guys go over to that third rack over there?
Why don't you
You'll
get
start
up
finding
and
some-
show us the third rack?
Well, yeah, let me show you the third rack. I'll show you the third rack. Give me a listen roll. Oh,
Can
wait,
we-
I'm sorry.
Can we
I'll
all
make
attempt
you-
to listen?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm deaf.
I I rolled horrible.
Oh, God!
Oh! We don't hear shit.
All right, so not only do you not hear shit, Ben, on your listen roll, you rolled a 99.
Oh, really? Okay. So I'm still head bobbing from the music in the car earlier.
Yeah. So he said to you is, I'll tell you where to shove it. And what you hear is, you'll take this job and
Love it.
but all you hear him basically say is mumble, 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 and you'll love it. So at this point, you think this guy's like coming on.
Oh, hold on, pork chop. I don't swing that way.
What the? No, he said. The hell, man, geese. Here, God. All right, so he's going to give you an old newspaper.
What's it say? What's it say? I would like to read the old newspaper.
Narrator.
I got this one here from 1866. You guys can read on through it.
He lived much of his life in the house.
All right. Obituary. Walter Cobbett departed this life on June 20th, 1866, at his home in 20 Sheaf Street. Born January 14th, 1789 in Boston. He lived much of his life in this house, and he was a lawyer. He survived by a son and 4 grandchildren, including crime novelist Minerva Walsh of Many Mysteries fame.
Oh, those are wonderful books.
Former neighbors have issued another lawsuit against local lawyer Walter Corbett Esquire, this time after his death. The terms of Mr. Corbett's will specified that he was to be buried on the grounds of his house at 20 Sheaf Street, more particularly in the basement of the building. Neighbors have raised a lawsuit to prevent the burial from taking place. Mr. Corbett's neighbors first sued in 1852 in an effort to convict a victim from the area. Mr. Corbett died on June 20th, 1866, at his home.
He died there.
Yep. Something about a night watch officer being slain. Unless you read that when you get a chance, Ben. And another lawsuit against Mr. Corbett. Yeah, it just mentions a whole bunch of things about the lawsuits. But this isn't quite what you're looking for. And after struggling to read through it, O'Doyle says, "Now listen, that's a bunch of bullcrap. Give me something I can use." At which point, he pulls out something from a little bit closer. Fine, I'll give you something a little bit closer to right now. This one here is from 2 years. All right, and whoever wishes to may read that. So he hands you a newspaper, and this paper actually has some of the stories struck through. These were never printed. The only one that was printed are the ones that you see with outlines in them. So whoever wants to read it.
Haunted House Harms Home Orders, 1918 feature story, which was never published. It states that in 1880, a family of French immigrants moved into the house, but fled after a series of violent accidents, left the parents dead and 3 children crippled. The house long stood vacant. In 1909, another family moved in and immediately fell prey to illnesses. In 1914, the oldest brother went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife, and the heartbroken family moved out. In 1918, the third family, the Macarios, rented the house, but they left almost immediately after they became ill at the same time.
Bloody madman rampages Copp's Hill. Residents of the North End were startled when a man covered with blood rushed out of his home on Monday, screaming obscenities and babbling about burning eyes. The man was identified as Vittorio Macario, a resident of Sheaf Street in Copp's Hill. It is uncertain what exactly happened to Mr. Macario, but police speculate he fell down a flight or perhaps even was out of a closed window. Police apprehended Mr. Macario after he acquired a knife from a butcher shop and was threatening locals. The arresting officer was unable to make out what he was trying to say. Mr. Macario has been interred in Roxbury Sanitarium, and no charges are being issued against him. You want this one, Jonathan?
Sure. Wife of madman committed to Roxbury. In the bizarre repeat of last fall's episode, where a madman who terrorized the streets of the North End, a woman has been institutionalized. The woman is Gabriela Macario, was committed to Roxbury Sanitarium after she was found huddled on the front step of a house at 20 Sheaf Street, muttering about burning eyes. Last October, Vittorio Macario, husband of Gabriela, burst from his house covered with blood. The madman evaded police for some time, eventually acquired a butcher's knife. He was finally
So yes.
and later committed to Roxbury. The couple's 2 children are with family in Baltimore.
Then there's just a small advertisement talking about this very house and how you can reach Mr. Knott and buy this property for a great price.
From 2 years ago?
Yes, he's been trying to sell this for a while. Right after that incident with, he didn't mention this, well, he didn't even talk to you, but right after the incident with the blah blah blah, what are they called? The Macarios. That was kind of a last straw. You realize why when you look at another redacted story. This is actually handwritten, and it has a big red, "We don't print this" in the globe written on it. And it reads as such. Something sinister seems to haunt a local Boston house. Whatever has destroyed the 3 families in the last 40 years. The 2-story house at 20 Sheaf Street in North End near Cobb's Hill has been a site of fear, madness, death, and possibly murder since before the turn of the century. In 1880, a family of French immigrants by the name of the Ledoux rented the property and moved in.
What horrors happened to these people that year will ever be known to save a series of violent attacks and some kind of left both parents dead and their 3 children crippled for life. The house stood vacant for almost 20 years, but in 1909, another family moved in. From time to time, they moved in the house. Mr. and Mrs. Jones fell prey to illness and sickness. Almost of the house itself were conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, and though all of them lived in the house for several years, the terror reached a head when in 1914, the eldest of the Jones family went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife. The Jones family moved out after that, heartbroken at their loss. A third family rented the house in 1917, but left after less than a month, and all of them became ill at the same time. Is the house haunted? Perhaps. There is something wrong with the water, or some disease still lingers there from before it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now had better be brave and strong, for they take their whole lives into their hands.
Da, 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 da.
So,
What was the newspaper sound? I'm sorry.
yeah, no problem.
Oh my God.
While you're at it, you find a couple other things. Hope you don't find that.
What do you think he wants?
Is that the cliffhanger?
What?
No.
Well, with these articles that are kinda like strange, would that fall into the territory of my friend?
Yes. In fact, he says, look, you guys want to go and check out that nutcase file. There's only one guy to talk to. Head nutcase around this place. Complete waste of time if you ask. His name's, the hell was his name again? God damn it. It was Eddie Masterson? Mrs. I don't know.
It's okay. I know where I can find him.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Huh.
You know the guy? You're friends with him?
Well, thanks for your time.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I guess it makes enough sense, huh?
You are the rudest individual I've ever met.
Oh, yeah? You ought to meet my wife.
Wow. She'd leave in a huff, I mean.
I know the way, right, where I can find him.
Yeah, you know where to find him.
I lead the others towards his bureau.
All right. So you go up to him, and he says, "Oh, Jonathan, what are you guys doing here?"
Edward, well, it's so nice to meet you again this morning. Well, we were doing some research on the old Corbett house.
Oh, the Corbett family, huh? No, their names pop up a whole lot whenever we start getting crazy stories.
So we were looking into some articles, but I was wondering if you had some deeper insight into what's going on there.
Well, I got a couple of things for you. You know that guy got sued like 1,000 times, right?
I read that, yes.
Well, here's the thing. He won most of his lawsuits. Even the one that he had when, guy was...
So you're cut off. What?
I said he won most of his lawsuits. Even the ones that came after he was dead.
Interesting. I didn't even know that cases were actually fought out till the end after.
What kind of habits would they be in consequence of his habits? What specifically?
Nothing I'd be comfortable with going on a record with, but just between you and me, people said it was always loud noises, rumblings. People said he would go back and forth with, a bunch of dead animals, all sorts of insanity. And the main thing they used to complain about were the rats. Apparently there were a lot of rats.
Hmm. The neighbors were complaining, or Mr. Corbett himself?
Neighbors, really, mostly everybody.
Right.
So, you guys might have heard about a couple of families moving in there, but here's another crazy thing. There was this weird church, more of a cult, really. They didn't follow God, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, or anything like that. No, 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 no. These guys, I don't know. I can't even pronounce the names that they use to follow. But not too long ago, around 1910, 1908, these guys went and took over the place for a little while. They didn't move in, but they took care of some of the legal affairs. That is, right until their church burned down in like a police raid in 1912. But I can't tell you much more about it than that. Those are what the police records, and I'm pretty sure they're pretty well hidden.
Do you know who was investigating that case at the time?
Everything's redacted. People act like that nothing happened at all. From as far as I can tell, a whole bunch of them church people and a couple of officers died. Little messy type stuff. That's probably why they hid it under their hat.
All right, Chief, I got a question for you.
Sure. What was your name?
So you said there were all kinds of complaints surrounding that place. Did those complaints stop, or are they still ongoing?
Never really stopped, as a matter of fact. I mean, even the businesses and stuff that are around there, they all, still complain about the rats and whatnot. And of course, you saw those crazy stories. People going nuts, stabbing themselves, a lot of crap with kitchen knives. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but everybody and their mom still thinks, I can't believe I got to say this out loud, still thinks that place is haunted.
Huh. You ever think it's a little bit more reasonable to assume that some of those nut jobs are still in there? I mean, you said it yourself. Some of those weirdos were going in there, right?
There shouldn't be anybody left alive from that church, to be extremely honest with you. So I'm not sure. The last nut jobs Go ahead.
Maybe one of them went into hiding there after they raided the church.
Possible.
What?
I do know if you want to find one of the nut jobs, you can probably find them over at that old sanitarium. Those
The Roxbury Sanitarium?
Yeah, that one.
Is Gabriella still there?
Well, miss, I haven't visited the place, so I can't say for sure. But as far as I know, they're probably still there.
So about whom are we talking right now?
Sorry.
She was talking about the Macarios who were in the sanitarium. That's the last
yes.
family that lived.
The last family that lived there. Yeah. The dude went nuts. He came out of the house covered in blood, and then he tried to kill himself with a butcher's knife. I think, but didn't succeed.
Yeah. He was running up and down the street with a knife covered in blood. And that's it, by the way. He was only covered in blood. He was not covered in pants.
Anyways, his wife was committed.
Lost it right over that.
Yeah, his wife was committed about a month afterwards, and both of the kids are in both.
Yeah, but who was he talking about? Who was Edward talking about right now?
Oh, he was talking about an old church. It is called the Chapel of Contemplation.
Okay.
The full name is Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
Granter of what?
Of Secrets. We'll put it in a thing for you. Well, you guys are looking at it right there, right? Oh, wait, no, I didn't show it.
I want to go to the house house? Can we go to the house?
Of course. You can go to the house whenever you're ready.
I know, but I also feel like she wouldn't go to the house. She'd go talk to the poor crazy lady.
Well, I'm not
I
sure how
mean-
much a crazy lady would have to say about it.
I mean, all I know is that she was talking about burning eyes. And if we are... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm metagaming. Let's go to the house.
Well, I think I want to go to my place first and get prepared for that, because we might need some light sources, because the light will probably not be working.
Well, it's for sale, isn't it? Let's just call the real estate agent and get a tour.
Well, I have the keys. We don't need the tour.
Oh.
We can just go there and look inside. But,
Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Well, I still want to get my equipment so that we can see something in the house.
What do you mean equipment?
Well, some flashlight would be helpful. And I want to be prepared in case there is actually one of the cult members hiding in there.
Well, it's not a treasure hunt. Listen, I got a flashlight and a gun in the truck. Let's just go.
I mean, I suppose Angus would like to know where I'm going.
Well, if you have a flashlight and a gun, then we should be fine, I guess.
Excellent, let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Thanks, Edward. We should have some tea in the next few days, if you have time.
Oh, yeah. That sounds great. So, whenever you guys find that house, you can always come to me. Hopefully, I can get it out of the wacko section. Or get me out of the wacko section. Have a good one, buddy.
So the end got cut off there. What?
Oh, have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
So we're driving to the place.
Yeah, you guys are driving to the place right now. So nestled between several office buildings is an old
An old what?
mansion. And it doesn't want to reveal. Roll20, you can't do this to me, right?
Well, I was going to say, it is 9:45. We've been doing it a little over 2 hours. How long are we playing tonight?
I was going to put us at 15 minutes, but I can actually put us at the door. Or not. Yeah, Roll20 is being a jerk and it won't let me reveal the house to you. So instead, that means we can start next week at the house. We can also say that when you gave a call to Agnes, your old friend happened to swing by, and she said, "Ooh, dearie, I haven't seen her in some time. I think I'll go by and visit her at that house."
Excellent.
That way, we'll have a good reason
Haven't seen
to
you in some time was the last thing I heard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
He's pulling in Chelsea's character.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're just gonna pull in her character.
Oh, yes, right. We have one more player next time.
She's
Yeah.
my bridge partner.
Oh, good lord! All right.
Also, she's fucking amazing, so you boys be nice to her.
Could you ask her to bring some flashlights for everyone?
I don't have a cell phone, dude. This is 1920.
Well, you needed to call her before to meet us there. Right?
Okay, let me use my ESP and just send her the mental image of flashlights. Here, let me text her and see if she got it.
Well, she might have a phone. You have a phone.
Look, I don't care for that newfangled contraption.
You don't even know your phone number yet.
Look, I just know that there's that thing over there, and what's his face has decided that I need it. Angus.
I don't think we like there are there phone numbers at the time. You just get
Yes.
Ooh, I think you call the operator and she
Yeah.
connects you to place.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, she'd be like, "Can you connect me to so and so?" So Angus already set that all up for you. It is set up at Dorothy McGee, and people can call you now at the McGee line.
I also remember that they're not private either, so if anybody else is on the same connection and if they pick up the phone, they're going to be in on your call.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that you don't have a phone either, Mr. O'Doyle.
Probably not, no.
I mean, the operators always can listen into, like, basically. So,
One of the major advancements taking place during the 1920s was in plastics. Innovations in this area had a huge effect on the way telephones were defined and operated. Made the blah 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 hard shell. Why am I reading this?
I have no idea, because the problem with dealing with something with real history is you're always tempted to look at what was going on.
Google who?
It's just this temptation. It's like when you're sitting here in the middle of some medieval world, or even if you're sitting here in the future of some cyberpunk world, you're not going to go and look up what time this was invented. If you're in some medieval world, you're not going to look up what time a certain type of compound bow
You
was
just
invented.
make that shit up.
Right. But when you're dealing with actual 1920 of Boston, you kind of want to know. Like, you're not going to let it enslave you, but you also want to, just for shits and giggles, you.
well, I actually like that. I'm kind of like a history geek, so I really love that.
Oh yeah, that's why it gave me great pleasure to be able to bring in like the Babe Ruth story, and there'll be other things like, is it Vladimir Lenin? Yes, it is. At some point during all of your adventures, it probably won't be the scenario, but there'll be mentions of Vladimir Lenin as he gets ready to form the USSR in about 2 years.
I had so much fun getting, like, disgruntled and hoity-toity at what's-his-face.
Yeah, honestly, Dorothy, I love Dorothy. Like, I actually like all of your characters a lot. And the fact that you guys don't have to be like these big badass heroes, just let you be real people. I'm going to have to be conscious of moving things along because it's extremely easy just to let you guys role play and, mess about. Because it's a lot of fun and it's just there for
I super love Dorothy. She's so much fun.
Well, I don't mind like the role playing. I mean, if we are just like if we don't progress that fast, I don't mind that.
Cool. I'm just going to be conscious of making sure that I'm not ever going to push you guys. I'll just pay attention to where we're at. You guys will be in the house next week, and we got a lot to do there. There'll be a lot of action stuff. But yeah, I want you guys to have characters that you love, care about. That way, when bad things inevitably happen, it's not like, oh yeah, cool, I'll just go roll up a new tune and we're good.
She's made of tougher stuff than that. Also, I should totally expect her to die. She's 76 years old.
She's 76 years old, and today you rolled an average of what, 80?
Oh, fuck, it was bad. It was so bad.
Then you didn't officially crit fail. I crit failed for you, but that's still the character of O'Doyle crit failing 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Bad.
I'm not doing so great.
I mean, look, you know how my rolls go. They're so bad. But it's fun.
Yeah,
Look,
everything is fine.
look,
It's hilarious, though.
failures are fun.
Yeah, luckily they've all been fun failures. It hasn't been, you guys are climbing a burning rope, you fail yet.
Yeah.
Well, there was that whole going insane thing, but you decided that narratively didn't make sense, so we're good.
Yeah, and honestly, it really was only because narratively it just didn't make sense to get that strong an effect that early. That just didn't work. But you guys are gonna start seeing some shit, and when you see some real shit, I'm not gonna be, you know,
Look, don't pull your punches.
right. I won't
Dorothy
be
can take
forgiving
it.
for that.
The advantage of playing a 76-year-old woman is that if and when she dies, she lived a long, full life.
And you guys, look, you guys all have pretty decent NPCs too. Um, I don't know why I like the Dean. Like, I know he's gruff and doesn't really talk to anybody. For whatever reason, I kind of like the Dean.
Oh, I totally dig Angus.
Oh,
I need
Angus is great.
I need to change his name though, so you stop calling him Agnes.
Yeah, this is a girl's name, but Angus is great.
I literally
And
I googled Irish names.
I know that O'Doyle's crew is going to be the source of a lot of comedy.
I kind of like the fact that I still don't know how much like this mansion is actually worth, and he just got like offered 10%, and the dean said, "Well, I want 1/3," and I still don't know how much this is actually worth, so I don't really like.
Yeah, you're gonna give the Dean like $3 when you get $30. Hey, he already agreed, so that's whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Next week, for the rest of us, we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, Ben, go and crank up and dig out. And, I don't know, build up some internet so you have enough.
Yeah, because you have to make sure Greta doesn't get herself killed.
Hopefully, everything's fixed by then. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but it's just